Have you ever heard a story so impactful that it felt like something out of a movie? Imagine finding a mother and her baby living in a car, at the mercy of chance, not knowing what tomorrow holds. That's exactly what happened to Oprah Winfrey during one of her trips. But here's the surprising twist. Instead of offering mere words of comfort, Oprah decided to completely transform their lives. What started as a simple act sparked a series of incredible events that you need to hear about. This isn't just a story about helping someone. It's a lesson in empathy, resilience, and the power of small actions. And the most moving part? The impact of this transformation was so profound that it reached thousands of people around the world. If stories like this inspire you, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next ones. Now get ready for a narrative that will touch your heart and give you a new perspective on what it means to make a difference. It was an ordinary late afternoon, and the sky painted the landscape in shades of orange and gold. Oprah Winfrey, on one of her trips to uncover real and inspiring stories, couldn't have imagined the impact a brief encounter would have on her journey. While stopped at a gas station, observing the bustle around her, something caught her attention. An old, worn-out car parked in the farthest corner. The partially rolled-down window revealed a young woman staring into the void, gently cradling a sleeping baby in her arms. There was a story there, Oprah was sure of it. Her name was Sarah, as she would later introduce herself, the mother of Noah, a little angel just a few months old. The scene was both touching and desperate. The baby slept peacefully, unaware of the cruel reality surrounding him, while Sarah, visibly exhausted, bore the marks of sleepless nights and internal battles on her face. Every hesitant glance betrayed her struggle to maintain dignity amidst the chaos her life had become. That car was her only home, and the world outside seemed cruel and distant. Known for her keen instinct in uncovering stories that speak to the soul, Oprah decided to approach. Without revealing who she was or why she was there, she struck up a casual conversation, asking if Sarah needed anything. The beginning was hesitant, but little by little, the young mother began to open up. Losing her job, being evicted, and having nowhere to go, it was a sequence of events that could happen to anyone. But for Sarah, it seemed endless. Oprah felt her heart tighten. It was impossible not to be moved. As Sarah recounted her story, Oprah couldn't help but think about the injustice of seeing someone so young and full of life crushed by circumstances beyond her control. Every word Sarah spoke felt like a call to action, an opportunity to turn such a painful narrative into something extraordinary. Oprah didn't yet know how, but she was certain she would do something. It wasn't a choice. It was a mission. And at that moment, faced with such a simple yet powerful scene, Oprah made a decision that would forever change the lives of Sarah and Noah. What began as a chance meeting turned into the start of something incredible, something no one there could fully predict. But how? That was the big question, and the answer was beginning to take shape right there, in that very moment. The decision was almost instinctive, a reflexive response to a mother's silent plea for help. Oprah wasted no time, and with the calm resolve of someone carrying the solution in her hands, she asked Sarah and little Noah to come with her. Initially hesitant, Sarah was reluctant to leave her makeshift shelter. But Oprah's firm, yet kind gaze was enough to convince her that this offer was safe. It was a rare chance, a helping hand extended at the perfect moment, and with a heart divided between doubt and hope, Sarah accepted. Minutes later, the group arrived at a cozy hotel where the warm lighting of the space contrasted with the harsh realities Sarah had endured. Oprah ensured that mother and child not only had a place to sleep, but also a setting that brought peace to their restless souls. The room, with clean sheets and a small welcome basket, seemed like the beginning of a new chapter. Sarah couldn't hold back her tears. This wasn't just a room, it was a breath of relief after months of suffocating hardship. While Noah curiously explored the new surroundings, Oprah and Sarah sat down for a heart-to-heart conversation. Still guarded, Sarah revealed that she had no one to turn to. Life had pushed her into a spiral of problems that piled up day after day. Oprah listened intently, without interruption, allowing each word to carry the weight necessary to be truly understood. The compassion Oprah felt for Sarah only deepened. And while the immediate help was crucial, Oprah knew that providing just a temporary home wouldn't solve everything. This was only the beginning. In that moment, Sarah began to feel something she hadn't experienced in a long time: relief. The burden of not knowing where she and Noah would spend the night, or how she would protect him from the cold, seemed to lift. And although doubts about the future still loomed, the present offered a small spark of hope. Oprah, for her part, saw in Sarah a hidden strength, something worth investing in. It was as if she could see beyond the fragile exterior to a woman ready to fight, if only she had the right tools. And so, with the soft sounds of Noah playing in the background, a new promise was born. That night, Oprah knew the road ahead would be long, but she was determined to walk alongside Sarah. The hotel was merely a starting point, a safe space to plan the next steps. And while Sarah began to catch her breath, she couldn't yet imagine what Oprah had in store for her and Noah. What lay ahead would be something Sarah would never forget. The next morning, while Sarah and Noah were still immersed in the newfound comfort, Oprah was already working behind the scenes to transform their lives. She mobilized her team and, through her foundation, began to organize what she called a restart kit. It was far more than basic supplies. It was a package of dignity and hope. From food to new clothes, everything was carefully selected, as if each item carried a message. You are important, and we believe in you. When the delivery arrived at the hotel, Sarah was speechless. Among the bags filled with clothes for her and Noah were toys that brought laughter from the little one for the first time in days. Additionally, Oprah ensured personal hygiene items were included, which, though simple, restored to Sarah something essential: a sense of normalcy. As she held a soft blanket for Noah, tears rolled silently down her cheeks. This wasn't just material aid. It was a tangible demonstration that someone cared, but Oprah knew that providing goods alone wouldn't be enough. With the same determination, she assembled a team of experts to help Sarah access social assistance programs. They guided her on her rights, benefits, and programs that could offer continuous support, such as housing aid and childcare services. Every phone call made, every form completed, was a bridge to a more stable future, and most importantly, Sarah wouldn't have to cross that bridge alone. As Oprah followed every step of the process, she made sure to remain present. It wasn't just about delegating tasks, but showing Sarah that she had value and that her story mattered. During one of their conversations, Oprah reminded her, accepting help isn't weakness. It's the first step to standing back up. Sarah began to internalize these words, and for the first time, she felt she might actually win this battle. Still, there was much to do. The essential support was an immediate relief, but Oprah knew the real challenge was helping Sarah regain her independence. Every smile from Noah was a reminder that this fight was worth it, and as Sarah reorganized her few belongings with more hope in her heart, Oprah was already planning the next move, something that would bring Sarah one step closer to a renewed life. With Sarah and Noah's basic needs secured, Oprah turned her focus to the next big challenge: reintegrating Sarah into the workforce. For someone who had faced so many adversities, getting a job meant more than just a paycheck. It was a chance to regain her dignity and rebuild her life with her own efforts. But Oprah knew that Sarah needed more than just a resume. She needed confidence, something time and circumstances had taken from her. The first step was helping Sarah prepare a professional resume. In a small, improvised office at the hotel, she sat alongside a specialist, who patiently helped turn her experiences into a document that highlighted her potential. Sarah, who had previously worked as a receptionist before her life fell apart, showed determination as she recalled details of her past roles. Each line written was like reclaiming a piece of herself, a reminder that she still had value. With the resume complete, Oprah used her vast network of contacts to open doors. It didn't take long before an opportunity arose at a local company. It was a position as an administrative assistant, a role that perfectly matched Sarah's skills. Yet even with this incredible opportunity in sight, doubt still lingered in Sarah's mind. Could she handle the demands of the job while caring? Oh, for Noah? Would she be accepted? Oprah, with her reassuring presence, reminded her that big changes always start with small steps. The day of the interview arrived, bringing a mix of nerves and hope. Dressed in new clothes and carrying herself with newfound confidence, Sarah entered the room determined. The warm smiles of the interviewers and the immediate connection she felt with the team were clear signs that this door was truly opening. When she received the news that she had been hired, tears of relief streamed down her face. It was the beginning of a new chapter, and for the first time in months, Sarah felt she had a future. But this wasn't just Sarah's victory. For Oprah, it was confirmation that every effort had been worth it. Still, she knew new challenges lay ahead. A job was only the first step, and Sarah would still need support to balance motherhood and her new responsibilities. Fortunately, Oprah already had something special planned, something that would make this transition smoother and even more meaningful. With a job secured, the next obstacle became clear. How could Sarah commute to work, take care of Noah, and manage her new routine? For someone who had lost everything, mobility wasn't just a practical need, it was freedom. Oprah, always one step ahead, knew this issue had to be resolved in a definitive way. And she had an idea that would not only solve the problem, but also create an unforgettable moment in Sarah's life. On a sunny day, Oprah took Sarah and Noah outside the hotel under the pretense of wanting to chat in the fresh air. They walked to the parking lot, where a brand new car gleamed under the sunlight. Before Sarah could understand what was happening, Oprah turned to her with a warm smile. "This is yours, Sarah, for you and Noah to start this new journey." The silence that followed was filled with a mix of shock and emotion. Sarah brought her hands to her face, overwhelmed. With Noah in her arms, she took a few hesitant steps toward the car. It was a compact model, perfect for her needs, spacious enough for the baby, yet practical for daily life. Sarah ran her fingers over the steering wheel, as if touching a symbol of a promising future. "I don't know how to—" "Thank you," she said, tears welling up in her eyes. Oprah, with her usual sensitivity, responded, "You don't need to thank me. Just use this to go after what you deserve." The gift of the car wasn't just a present. It was a tool that symbolized independence and a new chapter in Sarah's life. Now she could take Noah to the doctor without relying on others, get to work without fear of delays, and even dream of simple moments like a trip to the park. Every mile traveled would affirm that she was regaining control of her own story. As Sarah settled behind the wheel and started the engine for the first time, Noah let out a giggle as if he understood the magnitude of the moment. Oprah, watching closely, felt deeply moved to see the mother and son take another step toward a better life. But she knew Sarah's journey didn't end there. There was still a dream waiting to be pursued, and Oprah was determined to help Sarah achieve it. The next plan was already in motion. Despite her recent achievements, Sarah carried within her a dream that went beyond stability and security. Since her teenage years, she had aspired to become a nurse, a profession that symbolized care, empathy, and transformation to her. But life's hardships had interrupted that dream. During a quiet conversation at the hotel, Sarah shared this with Oprah, who immediately recognized the next essential step. As always, Oprah knew exactly what needed to be done. In just a few days, Oprah's team found a special education program tailored for mothers facing vulnerabilities. The program offered flexibility so Sarah could study while working and caring for Noah, along with scholarships and psychological support. When Sarah received the news, she felt a mix of excitement and doubt. She desperately wanted to say yes, but feared she might not manage everything. Oprah, with her characteristic wisdom, reminded her, "Big dreams always demand courage." On her first day of class, Sarah walked into the room with her heart racing. The desks, the chalkboard, and the people around her seemed like a distant world she had left behind years ago. But when she heard the warm voice of the teacher and realized many of her classmates faced similar challenges, Sarah felt like she belonged. Each lesson brought her childhood dream back to life. Meanwhile, Noah was lovingly cared for at a nearby daycare, one of the program's benefits. The days were intense, and balancing work, studies, and motherhood required more than she had imagined. There were moments of extreme exhaustion, sleepless nights, and even doubts about whether she could continue. But every time she thought about giving up, Sarah remembered why she started: to give Noah a better life and prove to herself she was capable. Oprah, who stayed close, was always there, to offer words of encouragement or simply to listen. Slowly but surely, Sarah was not only inching closer to her diploma, but also rediscovering the strength she had always had. Every small achievement was celebrated as a victory, and every obstacle overcome strengthened her resolve. Oprah knew she was witnessing something extraordinary. Sarah's journey was a reminder that, with support and opportunity, even the most improbable dreams could become reality. And as Sarah continued forward, something even greater was about to unfold. As Sarah's life began to transform, she realized that something profound had changed within her. It wasn't just about her recent accomplishments. It was about the impact each act of kindness had left behind. One quiet afternoon, while playing with Noah in the park, Sarah looked at her little one and felt a wave of gratitude. Everything she was living was only possible because someone had believed in her. And there, amidst innocent laughter and the rustling trees, Sarah made a decision to give back what she had received. The idea started as a quiet dream, but quickly took shape. Inspired by Oprah's generosity, Sarah decided that, in the future, she would help other mothers facing similar struggles. Whether through a community program or small individual gestures, Sarah wanted to make a difference. When Oprah heard about her idea, she smiled with pride. "That's how the chain of goodness grows," she said. And Sarah knew she was on the right path. Sarah's commitment didn't go unnoticed. At work, she began sharing her story with colleagues who were touched by her determination and resilience. In no time, Sarah became a quiet source of inspiration, someone who, without grand speeches, showed that overcoming even the hardest challenges was possible. For many, she was living proof that empathy and collective effort could change lives. But Sarah didn't want her story to be just an example. She wanted it to be a call to action. In her free time, she began planning small initiatives, like organizing donation drives for families in need and setting up gatherings where mothers could share their experiences. Each step was small, but carried a powerful intention: to create a cycle of kindness and support, just as Oprah had done for her. And so, as Sarah planted the seeds of a future built on empathy, Noah grew up surrounded by examples of strength and generosity. Watching from afar, Oprah felt moved. Sarah's story wasn't just about overcoming adversity. It was about how a single action could ripple out, inspire, and transform the world around it. And without realizing it, something even bigger was about to amplify this impact beyond anyone's expectations. As Sarah and Noah's story was shared for the first time on social media, no one could have anticipated the impact it would have. A simple photo of Sarah holding Noah, her smile reflecting hope and resilience, went viral within hours. Thousands of people commented, shared, and were moved by the account of the transformation that had taken place. It was as if suddenly, the whole world wanted to be part of this chain of kindness. And the source of inspiration was clear: Oprah's generosity and Sarah's determination. The ripple effect didn't stop there. Major media outlets began covering the story, from television programs to news websites. The impact was so significant that Sarah was invited to participate in interviews and events where she shared her journey with honesty and emotion. Oprah, always modest, observed everything with pride, preferring to stay in the background while Sarah took the spotlight. For her, the true triumph was seeing how one action could touch so many lives. Meanwhile, something extraordinary began to unfold. Inspired by the story, people around the world started taking action. Communities came together to help the homeless. Companies offered job opportunities to single mothers, and even strangers organized fundraisers for those in need. The message was clear: one small act of kindness could spark a wave of solidarity, and everyone had the power to make a difference. Sarah, in turn, became more than a survivor. She became a symbol of hope. Her life was proof that with the right support, dreams could be rebuilt and a brighter future could be created. Meanwhile, Oprah continued investing in projects that restored dignity and opportunity to those who needed it most, reinforcing the idea that real change begins with small gestures. But the impact of Sarah and Noah's story wasn't just collective. Every person inspired by it carried a seed of transformation, ready to be planted in their own circle of influence. And so, the action that began in a gas station parking lot continued to resonate, proving that acts of kindness have no boundaries. What seemed like a chance encounter had become a legacy of empathy that would touch generations to come. Sarah and Noah's story shows us that empathy has the power to transform lives. With Oprah's support, Sarah not only rebuilt her life, but also inspired thousands of people around the world. And this leaves us with an important question: how many lives can we transform with a simple act of kindness? Take a moment to think. Who in your community might be in need of help right now? Sometimes, an action that feels small to us can mean everything to someone who's struggling. Let this story be a reminder that we all have the ability to make a difference, no matter how small it may seem. Now, we want to hear from you. What touched you most about this journey? Is there something you feel inspired to do to spread more kindness around you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your ideas might inspire others as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss more heartwarming stories like this one. Thank you for being here, and see you next time.